Well, Dave, a week of preparation going in ahead of your first home game. How much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Again, I suppose as a group we've spoken about the next opportunity. The next opportunity comes Saturday, but I suppose finally after a long while, or it seems like a long time, have a home game to look forward to, and ultimately, I suppose at any level, your home form, certainly for a successful team, is where you need to make it sort of pay. So hopefully, like I say, we can have a good start, a difficult game, but a game we're looking forward to. Hopefully we can, like I say, give the home punters something to shout about.
You've been in the away dugout at the Vic a couple of times in the last few seasons. What's it like for opposition coming to the Vic? I know you've had a couple of decent results there.
It's a tough one, because I suppose the way, certainly football at this level, you tend to, again, more and more experienced players are involved. So anyone with any Boreham loves going into that environment. So that's why as a home team, it is really, really difficult. I think long gone are the days where teams will come and almost be overawed by the occasion. I think more and more players within the National League are more than capable of playing at higher levels, so they thrive more in that environment. What we've got to do is we've got to ourselves as a team on the pitch make it hostile and make it a difficult place to come. And if we do that, I think I'm almost certain we'll get the support from the backing that will make it, like I say, a hostile place. What you've also got to look at is we've got to give the punters something to shout about, and we've got to keep them in the game as best as we can. And if a goal comes around, the goal can certainly change the game. So I think in many instances you're never out of things as the home team, because like I say, it can be one incident that can completely change the atmosphere around the place. Like I say, hopefully from minute one, really, it's really positive and we can get a really good result.
You mentioned to the press yesterday, the fans and the home crowd can be one of our biggest strengths, can't it? I think we're in the top 5 in terms of attendances. It can be a real big factor.
Massive, yeah, absolutely massive. Because again, there'll be occasions this year where the players don't perform, or don't perform, and I mean in terms of tactically, technically a little bit. What they've got to see, and what they want to see, is the players just giving everything they've got, and I think that's a big part and a big sort of spirit that's around the club and around the terraces. So again, it's in the times when lads are struggling a little bit more than anything, we need them behind us. Because like I say, we can't guarantee success, we can't guarantee playing well. I can make sure that I guarantee that they're giving everything they can for the cause to try and get a result. And listen, coming in and looking at them, they're a really honest bunch is my first impressions of them. So I wouldn't doubt that of them anyway. Sometimes, like I say, it can be a little bit challenging, because maybe the ones that at times, confidence-wise, are a little bit fragile. It can be a difficult environment to play. But again, ultimately, if you're going to be a successful footballer and you're going to play at a higher level than this, you need to be able to deal with that and deal with expectation. And around the club, there's again, certainly off the pitch, there's a lot of expectation, which is something, like you say, you got to relish, you got to thrive in, because again, at some point, very, very, or in some instances soon, and some instances a little bit longer, you'll get to a point where I am, and as much as you like to play, you unfortunately can't. You have to stand at the side and watch.
And in terms of the result we got last week at Ebbsfleet, the performance obviously very good, but the result wasn't what we wanted. In some ways, has it been a long week waiting for this to come around? Because you said you wanted to use that as motivation and fuel for this week.
I don't think you can have a long week. I think certainly coming into a new job, a long week gives us a chance to again drip feed a little bit more bits of information in. From the players' perspective, last week was a really, really long week. So this week, I suppose, it's back to normality a little bit. I think, like I say, as a footballer, everyone looks forward to the games. The training and what you do during the week ultimately is for the Saturday afternoon, and that's what this week's been like. All of our focus is towards Saturday at 3 o'clock, putting a performance, and like I say, hopefully winning. And I suppose in most instances, taking care of the performance. If we can take care of the performance, we give ourselves a great chance. We took care of the performance on Saturday, and unfortunately little things let us down, and like I say, I was gutted for the players more than anything, but obviously supporters that came, but hopefully they saw really, really positive signs. We need to be, like I say, mentally stronger, because if we're going to be a successful team and a winning team, they're games that you have to win. You've got to get over the line. But again, that comes with leadership, comes with people taking responsibility, and comes with, certainly for the young lads, comes with experience.
We've seen over the first couple of games you've had in charge probably your stamp on things and the way that you want to play away from home. Does the approach change much when you're on home turf?
Again, I suppose what we've got to do is, as much as I would want to maybe not play a little bit differently, we've got to look at the players we've got, and we've got to work to their strengths. There'll be a little bit more emphasis, I suppose, on us at home to take the team to or take the game to the opposition. And we've, like I say, we've worked on that a little bit, just in terms of us in possession. I think the way, and it's not hiding anything, the way we are at the moment, we're a team with players in it that does set up better to maybe counter-attack, which is not something you'd normally see from a home team. But I think Saturday will be, an interesting one, because I think Boreham Wood and Luke's teams are pretty much set up the same. So it'll be probably two teams that ideally would want to do that. But like I say, it'll be a similar styles and similar philosophies of what teams want to do. It'll be interesting to see how the game pans out. What we've got to do is be adaptable, and if the game has to be controlled by us in possession, then, like I say, I think you saw signs on Saturday that we are capable of doing that, and hopefully that'll continue to develop over the coming weeks.
I suppose it's quite fitting that we've got Boreham Wood in your first home game, because I think you said that Luke Garrard's side were your first opposition when you came into the National League, and he's become a good friend as well. Yeah,
he's done a great job there. Did brilliant the first year. Obviously, first game against him, then we met them in the promotion, the playoffs, the prelim round, which they beat us. They obviously went on to Wembley, and when Tranmere get a man sent off after 45 seconds, you think that they're going to go from a small club and going to go themselves in the Football League. It wasn't to be for them. I think what Luke's done brilliantly there, he obviously brought the club up. He got some recruitment, had been great for him. He obviously then loses Grant Smith and Bruno Andrade and Morgan Ferrier from that team, and they're difficult to replace. And last year they struggled, and I suppose they show what this league can do in terms of one season you're up in the playoffs, the next season you're not fighting for relegation, but you're certainly down the bottom end of the league. Again, this year they've had more of a settled squad. What they've managed to do is bring in threats. They've had lads come through the youth system that have come into the first team. They've obviously brought Tyrone Marsh and Tishimanga in, which have been good signings for them. Have got them that goal threat back up the top end of the pitch. So they'll fancy themselves, as with most teams will, of having a run at the playoffs. But no, he's someone, like I say, I speak to a lot. I missed the game against them because obviously I'd left Vylde and they were playing Boreham Wood in the not too distant future. So for our first home game, if you like, to be against him is, like I say, is quite appropriate, and one that I'm really looking forward to.
And just finally, I know you've talked, and many fans will think about the work that gets done out on the grass, but there's plenty of work going on behind the scenes here as well in the changing rooms, just making little alterations that you feel can have those tiny impacts.
Yeah, listen, I think sometimes you need to, and players need to realise what they've got. We're lucky to have the facility we've got here. It's important then that we try and create the right environment for them, and we just think that, like I say, the way it was set up was it didn't get the best out of the space we've got. Some lads will have been at places where you've got unbelievable facilities, some lads will have been where you've had nothing, and I've probably been in both camps of that. So just to change that, like I say, the setup a little bit, give the lads a social area, try and get somewhere where they can have a bit more time together rather than being in a change room environment. Let them have a little bit of fun, a little bit of socialising. I think we'll go a really, really long way, because what you have to do, and I'm not saying they don't, but this place where we are training needs to be an environment where you can learn, an environment where you can learn about each other, an environment where, like I say, you can socialise, you can enjoy it, and you enjoy coming in and you want to be. And like I say, I think the little tweaks we potentially makes, hopefully we'll do that, and it'll encourage people to, like I say, to be here that little bit, even if it's for 5-10 minutes after training, after we've done our stuff, can they get together in there? Can they have a laugh? Can they have a joke? Just brings people out of their shells, puts people in different environments, and that's where you find out or you learn more about each other.